Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're looking at something pretty big for CBSE Class 9 students, a major update in how they'll learn English. There's a new textbook coming, and believe me, it's not just a few new chapters. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking about the subject. So starting in the 2026-2026 school year, those two books you might remember, Beehive and Moments, they're out. And in their place, one single book called Kaveri. Now this isn't just about saving space in a backpack. It's a really fundamental shift in how English is approached. So let's get into it. What exactly is this new book all about? All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick tour of Kaveri. We'll look at the big idea behind it, what's actually inside, how it's supposed to change the way kids learn, and, what the whole point of it is. Okay, so first up, a new chapter begins. Let's start with the basics. What is this Kaveri textbook? And what's with the name? The name itself gives us a huge clue. Kaveri is named after the holy river, and that's not by accident. The whole idea is that the content should flow, just like a river, from India's incredible cultural heritage right into the daily lives and experiences of students today. It's a beautiful metaphor, really. And this quote right here, it really nails it. It's all about taking ideas from Indian knowledge systems, from our own culture, and connecting them with what's happening now. The goal is to make it all feel relevant, something you can actually relate to. So we've covered the what. Let's get into the why. The Kaveri philosophy. What's the big idea here? Because it's way more than just a cool name. There's a real educational philosophy driving this whole thing. Let's dig into the principles behind it. Okay, so check this out. The book is built around themes that actually matter to young people. We're talking about things like society and ethics, the environment, technology, relationships, even your dreams and goals. This is a huge shift, right? It's not just about reading old stories. It's about tackling big ideas and doing it all from a distinctly Indian perspective. All right, that all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like? Let's dive inside the 8 units and see what students are actually going to be reading. So the whole book is split into 8 big units, each one with its own theme. But here's where it gets really smart. In every single unit, they pair one story, a prose piece, with one poem. So you get to explore a central idea, say education, from 2 totally different angles. It's a great way to add a ton of depth. And just look at this table. It gives you a perfect taste of how diverse the content is. In the first unit, you've got this amazing story, How I Taught My Grandmother to Read, paired with a poem called Bharat, Our Land. So boom, education and heritage right there together. Then you jump to Unit 5, and you're reading about overcoming challenges with an interview about Paralympic athletes set alongside a poem about what sportsmanship really means. It's a fantastic mix. But here's the thing. This isn't just about swapping out old stories for new ones. Kaveri brings a whole new method of teaching to the table. And honestly, this might be the biggest change of all. Every single chapter takes students on this clear 5-step journey. You start by just thinking and responding to an idea. Then you read for meaning. Then you check to make sure you got it. Then you start the critical thinking, the deep reflection, and finally you take it beyond the text. It's a really logical path from what does this say to what does this mean? Let's make this real. We can use the very first prose chapter as an example. How I Taught My Grandmother to Read. It's this incredible story about a grandmother who decides she wants to learn to read when she's 62 years old. So, after you read the story, the book doesn't just ask you, hey, what happened in the plot? No way. Instead, in that critical reflection part, you get questions like this. It's asking you to analyze her character, to think about why she wants to learn. It's pushing you to go deeper, to think about big ideas like independence and the fact that you can learn at any age. Okay, so we've seen the philosophy, the content, the method. That brings us to the final and maybe most important question. What's the end goal? After all this, what are students supposed to walk away with? And this is the key. Kaveri wants to give students more than just better reading skills. The real goal is to build a toolkit of skills they'll use for the rest of their lives. We're talking about thinking analytically, interpreting things critically, communicating well, listening, speaking, and writing, and maybe most importantly, to spark a real love for learning that doesn't just stop when the exam is over. So, there you have it. That's our guided tour of Kaveri. It's a really ambitious plan, trying to make English education more connected to culture, more focused on practical skills. And it leaves us with this one big question to chew on. Can one textbook really change how a whole generation feels about the English language? And maybe even about learning itself? It's a fascinating thought.